So what are money scripts or money beliefs? What these are a set of unconscious beliefs that we have created for ourselves by telling ourselves stories about how we feel and how we behave and what we think about money and life. We take these in from our environment at a very young age, internally and externally. Internally, we make up stories, say if you saw your parents fighting about money or stressing about bills. Say your aunt takes you shopping and spoils you, there's another story you can tell, you're telling yourself about money. And they can be very small situations, or they can be bigger and impactful. You could have been let go of a job that you really, really loved, and that's traumatic. That's an unfortunate bad feeling. The more emotion that is tied to these situations, the more it becomes internalized and the more it becomes subconscious. And then we build a new story around it and a new belief, and then we just, pile those on. And when we're adults, we're operating from these immature childhood interactions from, again, our parents, our culture, our socioeconomic upbringing, our peers, and society. If all your friends are getting the nicest clothes, or their parents are buying them new cars, and you are working and you can't afford that, if you're a teenager, and start to feel bad about yourself, perhaps you don't care. It could be a whole slew of things, but whatever that feeling is will become part of your money story. And again, these stories are incomplete, partial truths that live in our heads, so we don't even know half the time what we're doing or why behind the actions we're taking around money, why we're not saving, or why we are saving maybe a little too much. Afraid of spending money, that's another one that can get in your own way. It can be generational too. People who lived through the Great Depression, the banks were not trusted, people were hiding money and not wanting to put their money in banks. And the feeling was so strong, it actually trickled down generations, and then you had other people not trusting banks, like their children, and then maybe their children or the great-grandkids were, maybe they trusted banks, but they just don't want to spend any money. They have to save every penny that they have. If you go back and look generationally, you can maybe start to find these patterns in your own life. So reflecting on my own money story, which is something I had to do for these courses, I think the one that really stuck out for me was my family, just generationally, going back and looking at their family trees. So completely different and so conflicting, and it made so much sense how I had this love-hate relationship with money. I didn't care about it on one side, and then I really cared about it on the other side. I wanted to be successful, but then I didn't really care. I don't know, I was back and forth and always changing my mind. And looking at my family history, my dad's side came to New York in I believe it was the early 1800s. They were all doctors and lawyers and owned land and came with money. It was during the Irish potato famine in Ireland. And then my mom's side was they're a little more scruffy. They came from Ireland during the potato famine again, but again, they were extremely poor, uneducated, somewhere illiterate, and they worked factory jobs. Just such a difference just from both sides of my family. And my dad's side, so they saved all their money. They bought land and property and built their own wealth and kept it. They weren't showy about it. They're very modest. And then my mom's side, who thought anyone who was rich was evil. So it was interesting. It really was eye-opening seeing how that generational situations in your family can really, really impact how you think and view money. We create these beliefs for our own security, our safety, and our self-protection. It's to keep ourselves safe, but we don't really ever look at where these beliefs came from or why we even have them. My professors had said, and I thought this was a great example, is like someone's handing you a script. You're an actor and someone's handing you a script and you're like, all right, okay, these are the words I gotta say. You don't think about it. You're just like, okay, I'm just gonna repeat all of these words and just act it out. That's essentially what money beliefs and money scripts are. You are taking your own beliefs, because it's all individualized. Everyone has their own money story or a combination of different money scripts. And we take these stories, internalize them, and just play them out, not even realizing, accepting them as they are and moving forward. So knowing your money script and understanding your story and how that came about will ultimately impact in a positive way your bank account and your ability to save and grow your money.